Welcome back or welcome to Joy Unfiltered. I'm Rachel, your host, and I am so glad that you are here. This is a space where we stop pretending that burnout is the price of success and start exploring a different way to lead, live, and actually feel good in our lives. Because here is what I believe at my core. Joy is not the reward. Joy is the strategy. And in a world that's been built on pressure, urgency, and endurance, we're doing things differently around here. We are choosing energy over exhaustion, regulation over reactivity, connection over competition. And we are doing it in a way that's grounded in both science and perhaps a little bit of magic. So whether you're walking, driving, lifting something heavy, or just taking a breath in the middle of your busy day, you are in the right place. So let's get into it. Again, this is Joy Unfiltered, and I am Rachel, your host. And today we are diving into something that is so simple and yet so powerful that most people overlook it completely. We are talking about micro joy. And today I want to start with a question. What if you don't need a new plan, a new routine, or a completely different life to feel better? What if what you are actually missing isn't time, isn't discipline, isn't motivation, but attention? Because here is what the research is starting to show us. Small moments of joy, tiny intentional shifts, can change how you feel, how you think, and how you show up in a matter of days, not months, days. And I know that that might sound a little too simple, right? Like, really, Rachel, that's it? But yep, stay with me because this is where it starts to get really interesting. Let's talk about what micro joy actually is. Micro joy is honestly exactly what it sounds like. It's not the big moments. It's not the vacation. It's not the promotion. It's not the I finally made it moment. And although those things are nice, micro joy, it's about the small stuff. The things that are already happening in your life that perhaps you are rushing past, or maybe you're just not allowing yourself to feel. Micro joys are things like a laugh, a really big deep breath, a moment of connection, a feeling of ease, a quick moment of gratitude. And here's the key. You need to both notice it and you need to let it land. Because here's what happens when most people feel something good or see something good, they notice it and then they move right past it. You check it off. You minimize it. You say things like, that was nice, and then immediately move on to the next thing. And when you do that, your brain is like, cool, we're not keeping that. Because your brain is efficient. Your brain pays attention to what you pay attention to. So let's layer a little science in here. Your brain has something called a negativity bias. And if you've listened to the podcast before, we've talked about this before, but a negativity bias is your brain is constantly scanning your environment for what is wrong. What's missing? What could go wrong? And again, there's nothing wrong with you. This is not a flaw. This is how you survived. But here's the problem. You are no longer trying to survive that saber-toothed tiger attack. You are trying to lead a life. And those are very different skill sets. So when you intentionally create micro moments of joy, you are interrupting that default pattern. You're basically brainwashing yourself. You're basically telling your brain, hey, this also matters. And when you do that, a few things start to happen. You activate dopamine pathways. And dopamine pathways are associated with reward and motivation. You also are calming your nervous system, which moves you out of stress and into regulation. And you increase something called cognitive flexibility, which is your ability to think clearly, creatively, and make better decisions. So let's connect this to your actual life, because this is where most people miss the point. They think that joy is something that comes after success. So after you lose the weight, after you have this amazing relationship, after you have the money. But what research is really showing us is that joy comes before. And not only that, it enhances the very things that you are chasing. Let me say that again for those of you in the back. Joy is not the reward. Joy is the strategy. And this is exactly what we talk about when we talk about joy-led leadership. Because some people are trying to lead, perform, and create from a state of depletion. I don't know if this sounds like you, but you're tired. You are overwhelmed. You are operating from pressure and urgency. And then, I don't know, then you wonder why things feel so hard, why decisions feel heavy, why creativity feels blocked. But your state, your internal state is driving everything. Your internal state is driving how you think, how you speak, how you show up, how you lead. So if your internal state is constantly stressed, you are going to create from stress. If your state is rushed, you will lead from urgency. If your state is depleted, you are going to make decisions from scarcity. But microjoy gives you a way to shift that state in real time without needing to change your entire life. Now, let's actually make this practical, because the last thing I want to do is add more to your plate. So this is not about adding more. This is about shifting how you move through your day. Here are a few ways to start practicing microjoy. And I want you to notice how simple these are. Number 1, noticing. Just noticing something good. The way the light hits the floor. A moment of laughter. A conversation that feels easy. But here's the key. Pause long enough to actually register it. So number 2, allow. So you notice it and then allow yourself to feel it. Even for 5 seconds longer than you normally would. Because that is where the shift happens. That is where your brain starts to register, this is something different. And that is how you can use joy as a strategy. And number 3, to really let it land, number 3 is sharing. Tell someone. Send the text. Say the thing. Express the appreciation. Because joy amplifies when it is shared. And here's what's going to start to happen when you do this consistently. You begin to build emotional momentum. You begin to feel more regulated. You begin to notice more good things without even trying. And this is where it gets really fun, because now you're not waiting for joy. You are generating it. And when you generate joy, you create a completely different experience of your life. You start to feel more energized, more connected, more clear. And from that place, guess what? You make better decisions. You take better action. You create better results. So, if you take nothing else from this short episode today, I want you to take this. You do not need to overhaul your life to feel better. You need to stop rushing past the moments that already are. Start small. Pick one moment today. And don't just notice it, but let it land. Because that's how this works. Not in big dramatic shifts, but in small, consistent moments. And those small, consistent moments change everything. And if this resonated with you, I do want you to share this episode with someone who needs it, because this is the kind of shift that the more people need to hear. And make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss what's coming next, because we are going deeper into joy-led leadership and how to actually live this. And from my heart to yours, I'm celebrating you today and every day. So have fun, live well, enjoy.